All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be breaking down this Thursday night showdown here between the Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. As you can see, it's a game in which the Buffalo Bills are going to be 6-point favorites. It's also going to be a game that projects to be a lower scoring game at 43.5 total points. And when we look at this game from the side of the Bills, we know that Dalton Kincaid is currently going to be out, so Dawson Knox is going to continue to see a lot of snaps, guys. I think we can expect him to see around 60 to 70% of the snaps, which at his price tag does make him, a somewhat flex option for us. The biggest news that we are waiting on is whether or not Keon Coleman is going to end up being active. If he ends up sitting, we are getting a lot of good plays here for the Buffalo Bills. Shavers ends up being someone that I would really like as a value. He's already going to be someone that we could potentially consider, though, as a play. Guys, Shavers ended up getting 53% of the snaps last week, but 5 targets, 4 receptions, 90 yards, obviously scored a long touchdown in that game. Prior to that, he played 36, 47, and 40% of the snaps as well. So he'd be someone that I think we'd really look at for value, but Josh Palmer would also be someone that we could look at, guys. He ended up playing 51% of the snaps after returning from injury. He's not necessarily like a great play for sure. I would rather get to Shavers if Coleman's out, and I think both could somewhat be in play if Coleman's active, but both would become much more difficult. And then Gabe Davis would be the player that I think we would expect to sit if Coleman is going to end up being active. So I don't think we'd be looking at Davis at all. Now, it is a difficult matchup really for every single Bills player, so keep that in mind. But I do want to begin to Shavers here, guys. And then on the top end, Khalil Shakir did not practice yesterday because he had a child. Okay, so baby narrative game, if you will, where maybe he's a little bit more ready to go. Maybe a little bit more motivated to play well, I guess, if you will. I don't mind that narrative, but kind of a fun thing there for him. And I do think we just are paying up for Josh Allen and James Cook. Even though it's a difficult matchup, I would expect them both to go out and have a good game. Obviously, Josh Allen coming in off a pretty crazy game, 6 touchdowns there in that game. Wouldn't expect that again, but overall, not terrible look there. And then James Cook, just playing so much, guys, playing around 70% of the snaps, getting plenty of opportunities per game, around 20 per game. And so I don't think we can ignore that. Some people might just because of the matchup, but I think we want to be getting to him. He should produce a high floor for us. Now we go ahead and jump on into the Houston Texans, guys. CJ Stroud is still out. Davis Mills has done a fine job filling in for him. Obviously going to be a pretty difficult matchup. The last 2 weeks have been pretty easy matchups, and it was nice to see him be able to take advantage of them. But again, I don't necessarily see him playing all too well, and Vegas is thinking that as well with the low game total. Nico Collins is someone that we'll expect to still get peppered with targets, guys. Over the last 4 weeks now, over 10 targets in every single one of those games, and has been productive in every single one of those games. Much more difficult matchup for him, but at the same time, I do think we'll be able to fit him into our builds. From there, Woody Marks is kind of the play I want to go out of my way to target here for the Houston Texans, guys. Woody Marks ended up playing in 66% of the snaps last week, ended up having 19 opportunities, which 2 weeks ago also played a bunch and ended up with 17 opportunities in that game. So he really has been the guy for them really since the bye week, but especially over the last 2 weeks here, guys. And so given the matchup with the Buffalo Bills, where it's the second easiest matchup for opposing running backs, and that's been true like over a smaller sample size, if we look at the last 4 weeks, still bottom 5. And so I do think we want to be targeting Woody Marks if we can get there. I don't know if we necessarily need to get him into the captain spot. To me, that's the tough part about this slate, is nailing the captain spot. But I also don't mind the idea of potentially punting to some of the Houston Texans value that we have. One of those is going to be Jaden Higgins, who I've been impressed with, especially over the last 2 weeks with Davis Mills there. 7 targets in each of the last 2 weeks, guys. 4 receptions, 55 receiving yards last week. Ended up getting 60% of the snaps overall, only a 58% route share. Wish that number would have been a little bit higher, but overall, he is looking like a very good value for us at 4.6. I don't really understand that pricing. That being said, we also have Xavier Hutchinson at a pretty cheap price tag. He is playing a bunch of snaps as well, and if you think they're going to be playing from behind, he is not a terrible punt play as well. Both of those plays are definitely too cheap. I don't really expect Christian Kirk or Jalen Noel to be like players we need to go out of our way to target in regards to like playing time, being able to project them to be good plays. But if you end up on them, I'm fine with it. And then Dalton Schultz draws a very tough matchup, and so I don't know if we really want to be getting to him really at all, even though he has been extremely productive lately with Davis Mills as the quarterback. 9, 11, and 8 targets. I mean, pretty crazy stuff there. So it is tough to not be on him, but I think that's going to be the good route to go there. And so let's try to give you guys a first look build here. So I went off of Nico Collins and put Josh Allen into the captain spot. And the reason I'm doing that is so we can go to, I believe it'd be Xavier Hutchinson being a decent click here. Having $800 left over is going to be somewhat unique, but I really don't mind this lineup path that we were getting to. We're still getting to both running backs, and then we're getting to the next 2 best options for the Houston Texans in regards to receiving. Probably would want to get to another Bills receiver if we are playing Josh Allen, but we do know that Josh Allen can score in multiple ways, rushing the football and whatnot there as well. Ty Johnson, some people are going to be inclined to play him. Maybe he scores another touchdown in the receiving game. I don't want to chase that though. And then let's just go ahead and see what the 9-to-5 lineup builder is going to give us as some of the better lineups for this game. So nothing too crazy, just going to raise up the lineup slider to about 1,300 left over. Nothing too crazy there. Gonna run 20 lineups here and see what it spits out to us as the top lineups here. So here we go. Josh Allen, James Cook, Davis Mills, Matt Prater, Dawson Knox, Curtis Samuel. I don't want to begin to Curtis Samuel, guys, but right now he is popping. Did end up playing 51% of the snaps. Like, not terrible. Again, I like Shavers better than that, but I understand what it's seeing there. I wouldn't hate it. I kind of like the second lineup a little bit better. Jaden Higgins I like getting to, and then you can get to Dalton Schultz, although I don't think we necessarily need to do that. I do want to begin to another Bills pass catcher if we are playing Josh Allen. Like, I don't want it to only be Curtis Samuel. Like, I would want to get to Knox instead. Just, I feel like that's a little too thin there, just as an FYI. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Appreciate you being here. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That does help out a bunch. Trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the month on this channel. Obviously, a lot of you guys are coming from the main channel, the 9-to-5 Sports YouTube channel. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.